Day 103. My hair looks so crazy. So I'm gonna I just want you guys to know that this is just like lion hair right here. Like I have kind of like naturally curly-ish hair, but like not curly enough to be like cool curly hair, but just enough to be annoying. And I don't have a hair dryer here. I do have a straightener, so I can probably try to straighten this out. But like the pollution here is so bad, and they're working on the road so bad, and the car that we drive around in is old. So the fumes from it's like, I don't think it's quite in my hair, but it gets in my clothes, a little bit in my hair. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to straighten my hair or just wash it again. But yeah, so I have lion hair today.
Rawr. So, cool shirt though, adoption.
Yes. Right? So those of you that have been most curious about the solar panels and the project there. So when we started the solar panel project, we didn't realize how close they were making it. We knew they were barely making ends meet at the orphanage, but we didn't know how close they were on their rent. Because I probably would have prioritized their rent over the solar panels, but I didn't know. So we're working on their rent now. It's $9,600. Had some donations go directly to the orphanage, the agency website, and thank you for those of you that have sent money directly to me for that. We appreciate it. So it should be just chipping down. They think the landlord will work with them. But I want to pause here. So Augustine is this young man that's the security guard at the orphanage. And he is the nephew of the orphanage director in Liberia. He is a fantastic young man. He's wants to go in the military and was kind of set to do that with the last presidential administration, but there were budget issues with recruitment. So they have people ready to be in the military, but they can't afford to pay their military, which is very typical for Liberia. So just for example, our friends are staying at another hotel close to us, and their power went out. And it stayed out, and most of these places have backup generators, but their backup generator broke. So they were without power for 24 hours. And I think they finally got the generator running, but the regular power's not on. So that means all of Liberia's electricity is out and has been out for the last 24 hours now. So ours went off and on a lot last night. It was kind of creepy because I was in the shower and there's no windows really. I mean, there's one window in our bathroom, but by the time I was taking a shower, it was 10 o'clock. It was dark. And my 7-year-old, she always wants to borrow my watch whenever it's time for her to shower, which she'll probably come down here and get it in a minute. Because she's worried because she's been in there when the power went out. And it is creepy because it's you can't see your hand in front of your face dark.
And the water stops.
And the water just trickles down. So I was full shampoo.
No more pump.
And I was keeping my eyes closed, trying to but Jeremy was like, do you need anything? And I'm like, no, I think it'll come back on. But so what happens? So I'm going to pause here. Back to Augustine. He's the security guard at the orphanage, and he sleeps there at night. He's there all the time. Basically, he lives there. And he, helps with everything, all the maintenance, all the stuff that needs to be done. But he was, I'm not going to climb up on a ladder and walk on their roof in flip-flops, but he did that today. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to insert the video of Augustine giving us a play-by-play. And just so you know, this guy, he's probably in his early 20s, 22-ish. Just so you guys know, though, it's when he's not just a security guard, he's a secondary father figure for these kids, and he's very, very patient with them. I'm like, you need to say please to these kids. I let them color on sheets of paper today, and I brought markers and colored pencils, and they're crowding up, I want this, and I'm like, you need to take turns, you were not here first. And I just wait and go around. But he doesn't even do that. He just all smiles with them, and just kind of he's be careful. But
he cuts all the boys' hair.
He cuts he's a super nice kid or guy. He's a grown man, but to me, he's 20-something years younger than us.
Definitely a young man.
But ambitious and just hoping for the right thing. But I mean, in his spare time, this is what he's doing. He goes to school as well, but he's kind of quiet, but he's talked to me more in the last 3 days. He's like, you people just don't understand what a good job you've done for this orphanage. Having the freezer. He was really nervous to take the freezer. It got delivered today. He was really nervous to take it out of the box. I guess it's new. But it's a ice cream freezer. But it was $425 for the freezer. But it's a big deep freezer with the doors. But he's like, I don't want to take it out of the box because these kids will tear it apart.
They gave us a discount, so it was $400.
Yeah. Oh, good. So we got a discount. But so we're going to put it in like they have kind of a garage area where they keep the solar panels. And so we moved it. Well, I say we. I didn't move it. Our driver, Manuel Jeremian, and Augustine moved it, and it was heavy. But they'll be able to keep it away from the kids in their like it's like a garage area. It's like it's like a room. It's concrete and walls and everything.
It's where the battery cells are and where the
solar panel cells are. We'll show you guys some pictures. But I'm gonna pause here and show you the video of Augustine going up on the roof because I felt terrible yesterday. I barely got out of bed. Like I literally had to lay back down, and I haven't really felt like eating much, and I've just been very like just sad about everything. But this cheered me up. So let me pause. All right, so this is Augustine, and he's going to take my phone up there. Say hi.
Hi.
Don't worry, I won't make you talk much. Just take it up there and show the people the solar panels. They're already on the roof. Hopefully they can tomorrow. Be careful.
There's the roof. This is it. Here's the solar panel.
So how excited are you, Augustine?
I'm very, very happy.
Why?
Yeah, I'm very, very excited because we will no longer sleep in darkness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys did extremely well. Yeah. You guys
Thanks,
did
buddy.
well.
Woo! Okay, so solar panels are installed on the back part of the house. So they have a few on the front that I took pictures of, and I'll put those pictures in. But the back side is all solar now, so they can maintain them and keep them cleaned and make sure that they work and make sure the kids don't get up there and take them apart. So that was good.
He wanted to make sure that I told everybody that helped thank you because he's so excited. Because I asked him, I was like, being
I
in
videoed
charge,
him saying thank you.
right? But he's told me again individually, and he's like, being in charge of security, it's really hard when there's no lights on. So he's really appreciated.
Yeah,
feels
and
like
these
everybody's
kids-
going to be safer.
He's like, we don't have to sleep in darkness anymore. That was his big thing.
Yeah.
So, because he just, if the kids because what if they wander out of their beds, or what if they're sleepwalking, or what if they're sick or screaming in the middle of the night? Like, it's like, what do you, or what if someone tries to get in?
So,
That
and
kind
our
of thing,
hope
too.
is they have these giant buckets of water by the bathroom. Every time you use the bathroom, you take a scoop of water and put it in the toilet, and where you go to the bathroom, and it flushes it.
There's something
So
there's
the
something.
hope is they won't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, they said they used to run the water off a generator, but then the water pump itself broke, and there's a piece on it. But we've been told that it's an easy fix. But then they were running off generator power, so affording gas, because their gas here is like $4.50 a gallon,
Expensive.
and it's not that great of a grade of gas. So it really isn't as good. It doesn't run as long. But they couldn't afford the gas. Like, they can't. So they're living off of, they're just barely making ends meet because no adoptions are going through. So those larger fees that we all pay when we adopt, that supports the orphanage year round. Normally, they have 20 families doing that. And a minimum 10, I think, is their break even. And they've only done 4 in the last 12 months that I know of.
It's criminal.
Maybe 5. So we're just kind of hoping. So today in Liberia was a day of prayer and fasting, and the president, and if under different circumstances, I would probably be like, that's a really good, because I read the press release on it, and the President Bokai, he's an older gentleman, and he said that he just did a call to prayer that everyone from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. fast and pray. And that it doesn't matter if you're Christian. The initial like law is like the second Friday in April in Liberia. It's like in their Liberian law to honor this day. But he just was like, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, Muslim, like whatever you are, whatever religious call or whatever religious denomination you are, whatever it is, where just open your doors, open all your doors for a place of prayer. All places of worship were to open their doors at 8 a.m. and all marketplaces were to be closed, and they were to observe this. And they noted in that for us as people that are trying to adopt, it's just another business day lost. But there is something about that, an entire country honoring that. That's good. It's good leadership on his part to honor that holiday. It was bad for Carrie and her family because they needed their generator fixed. The ATMs were open, so we were able to get some cash. But there's only like one ATM that you can get. Like most of the ATMs, you can only get $200 at a time, and they charge you like a $5 fee, which is awful.
And it's so open.
But there's one.
The one we went to today is so open. Like there's 3 ATMs, but it's like literally on the outside of the building off a dirt road.
I took a picture of it. I'll put that in. I think I took a picture of it, or I may have just been cranky and I didn't take a picture.
It's like there's security there, thankfully, but it's like, man, I don't.
But what are they going to do? They're not armed.
Yeah, I was like, I don't feel good about this.
Let me see if I took a picture of that. I took a picture of the guy on the motorcycle carrying the generator. Crazy.
That is crazy.
I didn't get a picture of it.
Okay.
I thought about taking your picture though, because it's literally
We'll go
Jeremy
again,
standing
I'm
in front of
sure.
this white building and this dirt road, and all these people are around, and it's like, I mean, how do you? And like he's putting it in his wallet. I mean, and he's just a few steps from the car, but nobody has guns here, so that's brand new. I thought maybe it was used. It's not.
Yeah.
It was in the original box.
They still had the tape on the doors
brand
too.
new.
So
Brand new freezer.
that's the same
Like an
one.
ice
They
cream
had
freezer.
they had it out displayed. I must have kept the box and boxed it up.
Yeah, but it's still got all the.
Yep.
All right, so the ATM's kind of scary, but there's only like one ATM that you can get $600. So you can get $600, but they charge you what, $12?
$12.
But at least you can get it all at once. You don't have to go back the next day.
The other ATMs, the GT ones, are $200. You can only do $200, and it's $5 a transaction.
Yeah, that's how we were. I wonder what would happen if we both went simultaneously at the exact same time and both tried to get $500. If it would let us
So
with our debit cards, or if it would
we went
seize out.
Pay
and-
$24 for that.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't, It's just, these are the things that are hard. But that was the only thing that was open today. And the grocery store was open. So that's Liberia for you.
Yes.
I cried. So our oldest Liberian daughter wrote a letter to our middle American child. And it was really sweet. And she's like, she had somebody help her, I think, spell her name. But she spelled her name right. And she's like, I pray for you every day, and I hope to go with you soon, and I will just keep praying. And the resolve in the 7-year-old's voice is a lot, and she drew a picture of them, and she's really connected. And my middle child is more extroverted child, and a little more, she makes friends easy. But, she's really, she really understands firsthand at this point, all of our kids do, what these kids are going through. But my 10-year-old, my middle child, she's not only connected with them, but she gets it. Like, she understands that it's hard. And so our American kids really haven't complained much about anything. They've been having a good time, they've been doing their thing. Because they're kind of in this with us. But like, it's kind of a hard thing. So
Yeah, I got up this morning and I sat down with our American kids, and I just thank them for their maturity and their patience for being here. Like, it's 59 days today we've been in Liberia. And I appreciated their resolve and being cool about us being here. Not every kid would be as cool as our kids have been. Because it's a hard thing. They see us stressed out, talking about really grown-up stuff, which is hard.
yeah, they see me crying today, trying to get in the car. Because that was, so our oldest Liberian daughter, her resolve was to write the letter to our middle child. She's pretty, she gets that it's not us leaving her, like it's not our fault that, and the nannies are good too at explaining to them. But our youngest Liberian daughter, she just, She hugged Jeremy goodbye, and then she just went and hid. And she was like in her room, hiding on her bed, crying. And I had to go get her. And I didn't know she'd already told you goodbye. Like, I didn't know she already knew we were leaving. Because I was trying to recollect my markers and pencils from everyone in an orderly fashion, which is like, they're getting better. They're getting better at that. But she was tearful. And then she was trying to, like, hug her other kids. And then, I mean, I just finally she was just wilting. Like, it's a melting thing. It's like a collapse of just every bit of the fight within her is just gone. And initially, you look at pictures of kids, and we kind of thought maybe she was more feisty because she would never smile in the pictures, and she was just always like, but she's more scared. The older one's actually feistier, a lot tougher, a lot more articulate with what she wants and what she thinks. And the younger one is just more, I guess she's been protected. I don't know. But she's just a lot younger emotionally. And just a lot more like, I don't think she understands as much as her sister does about what's happening. And they kind of, kids are really close. Our Liberian kids are 18 months apart in age, and you kind of get an alpha and a beta when you're that close. But just watching her just wilt, and just picked her up, and I cried too. Like, it's so hard to leave them there. And it's not that we're leaving them in a bad place. Like, if we absolutely had to leave our American kids there, those women would take good care of them. And Augustine as well. Like, nothing bad is going to happen to our kids in the care of these people. Now, are they going to have all the amenities they're used to? No. Are they going to be sharing all kinds of stuff and running around trying to get a shower with 20 other people? Like, trying to when they do bath time for the little kids, I'm like, this has got to be like wartime, because there's like all these, like, all the kids that are like 7 and under, like running around looking for their clothes. And it's just kind of a different world. But like, from a safety standpoint, like, they're doing their best with these kids, and these are good people. But when they see, adoptions going through, and they know that the rent is coming due, and they know these stressful things, they worry about their jobs too. They love what they do, but they worry about their jobs too. So I hope you enjoyed the video of Augustine climbing on the roof. We should give a little extra perspective. I'll make sure there's no kid face. We're not allowed to put any kid faces on the internet, or any kid faces in any pictures that we're not matched with. So unless I have written permission from Jimbo on a specific kid, I cannot share any visual images of them. So we'll have to make sure we don't have to crop that out. But the kids are there. So if you're matched with a kid and you look real close in the video, you can probably find them.
Yeah, I find myself too.
I've
like
got pictures of Freezer too.
I'll sit there and I'll see like our Liberian kids playing with the Clark's Liberian kids, and I'll be just like go into fantasy world and think about
Grace
like,
and Sarah is gonna be their new names.
What it's like. I can't wait to like be hanging out in Venice, Florida.
I know. I just want to go to Anna's house and have sandwiches
and have all of them hanging out together, because it's like all these missed opportunities. It drives me nuts.
I do. I like it, and it just, like, it brings tears to my eyes to think about, like, how comfortable it would be just to go to Anna's house and have sandwiches.
It would be so great.
And sit on her nice comfy couch.
Run around their pool
and watch
again.
our kids run around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And her kids are going to do so good in Liberia. Her American kids.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
going to love it.
We don't have any updates. Of course, it's Friday. Everything was closed today, and it's the weekend.
So we've all had to pray. I hope everybody prayed for conviction to do their job.
I was. It's the same thing every Friday. Next week's the week. It's like we have this hope of next week things are going to move, and we'll have to wait and see. But
it's just so weird. Like, you talk about being like submissive, or having like humility, or having a moments of surrender to God about things. Like, I mean, this is, you just don't living in the country that ranks 187th, and driving. I mean, the things that I see when we drive up and down the road, like the poverty that we're surrounded by, like, this is like something that I've seen before in other countries, but not this much, and not to this degree. And when Augustine talks about the great, like, we don't have to sleep in darkness anymore. I mean, our American-born kids, they sleep with all the lights on, and they always have. Well, not always. They did when they were little. When we got the Fosters, they had a really hard time with the lights being out. Our first little foster son, I'll never forget. He did not want the lights out, and he didn't want the doors closed. And, we complied because I didn't want to scream and kid all night.
Yeah, new
I mean, our
place,
kids had
new
our
girlfriend.
American kids had night lights before that, so we started sleeping with all the lights on. And then when we got our girl fosters, our daughters that we had for over a year and a half actually, they needed the lights on at all times, and so everybody slept with the lights on. But like these kids come from really traumatic backgrounds. That's why they're there. And to think about them being in complete darkness at night with no lights on at all is just, and no power and no, I mean, I guess the nannies can get their phones out if somebody's sick, but just having just darkness is just hard.
Yeah, I've never been anywhere outside of the States really, and you can take pictures of it. It just doesn't do it justice until you see it in person. Like it's every inch of the landscape is just not a lot. Poverty and trash, and it's pretty impressive.
Well, today I physically felt bad enough that I could have easily just stayed home. Like we could have just not gone. Like Jeremy even asked, like, do you want to just not go? And I'm like, no, we need to go because I need to see it. I need to see something good. I need to be around those kids. They cheer me up. They're crazy. They'll drive you nuts, but they cheer me up. And talking to the nannies cheered me up, and just them saying like, it stinks that we're here this long, but were we not here this long, we would have not known about all these needs. If we didn't have to be here this long and this program was thriving like it was a year ago or 2 years ago, they wouldn't have all these needs. This would have been taken care of by the program itself and the budgetary decisions there. But they're like, feed everyone. That's their budget right now. Feed everyone and pay the staff. And that's probably it. So if you want to shop Noonday, the half off sale started today. There's a lot of good Mother's Day stuff in there. Teacher appreciation gifts are great. Those totes would be great for teachers. The Rome pouch would be great. There's candle holders and vases that are there. There's little picture frames that are fantastic, and they're really nice. They have a closure that opens and closes. That's really good. But like and grab some coffee too, like get a vase and some coffee and throw it in for the teacher appreciation gifts, and just mark that off your list for this good cause. We'd really appreciate it. All the commissions from here on out will go to help with the rent unless they meet that goal before we close that out, and then we'll do something else. But $9,600 was the goal, and they did not have it as of 2 weeks ago. So I know that I've made a plea and others have on social media, and I know the waiting parents, the matched and unmatched parents. We want to keep this program alive because it is in danger. This program it's not in danger of stopping yet, but like it's flirting with it. So we need all the support we can get. So, and again, like if you want to give straight to the agency, do that. If you're more comfortable giving it to me, because you know that I'll make sure that it goes where it needs to go, do that. The tax deductible donation, or if you want to give to our Adopt Together to help offset some of our travel expenses, the more travel expenses that we can offset, the more we can bless these kids and give back to them. So,
Yes, don't let the U.S. Embassy that are anti-adoption win.
Don't let those what?
People at the embassy that are anti-adoption win.
Did you call them something gross?
No, I didn't use any profanities.
But I heard you call them something funny.
You have to tell me later.
I cheered up. Just the look on Augustine's face and his excitement again, telling me like, and he and I were trying to figure out where we could put the freezer that it wouldn't get eaten by the kids or taken apart. They like to take stuff apart, a couple of them in particular. So, all right. That's all.
Rock and roll. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.